Hi everyone, I'm NewEsc and this is the new Pixel 9, the new phone from Google that comes with a refreshed design and some minor improvements that will make you question the price increase, even though, well, it's still one of the best Androids of the year. I bought this unit myself on Amazon for $7.99, which, it's not cheap, but here in America, at least is a competitive price. This new generation comes in a new recycled cardboard box with no plastic whatsoever, with the phone inside wrapped in this type of paper, and let's just say that my first impression was really good because this phone, well, it looks stunning. Then we have just a USB cable for charging along with the SIM eject tool. It's been a week since I started using it and personally, well, I don't understand the hype. And look, I'm a big fan of Pixel phones and I've been recommending them forever, but it seems like the main reason why this year so many outlets, so many YouTubers like this phone, it's because it looks like the iPhone. This premium feel on the hand is undeniable, but at the same time, the square-off design, lost a little bit of ergonomics, since the curved edges of the Pixel 8 felt better in my opinion. Another aspect where they're quite similar is in the size of the screen bezels, which compared to the Pixel 8, it just doesn't seem to have improved at all. But as for the design of the rear camera, I do think it looks great because it feels like a clear evolution of what we had before. Not to mention it looks a little bit more premium and better integrated, and on a table it doesn't wobble unlike the iPhone's camera because it's a little bit to the left. And it has become quite popular to say that the Pixels are the new iPhones of Android, which worries me a little bit because it also means that with each new generation, the improvements are so minimal that will not justify the price increase. Remember that the Pixel 8 was launched for this price, and this year the Pixel 9 cost $100 more with a few improvements that don't really justify it. Its display is very good with better brightness and no green tint, but it's still not LTPO, which means that the always-on display will always consume a little bit more battery. Its speakers still sound just as good as before. The fingerprint reader, it's now ultrasonic, but when you compare it to the Pixel 8, well, you won't notice the difference in speed. The front camera is the same as before, and it is the main sensor, which still looks great, but most of the changes we see here are software related. Its battery charging speed also remains at 27 watts, but wireless charging has dropped to 15 watts. And remember that the new Pixel 9 comes with a new Tensor G4 and 12 GB of RAM instead of 8, which will make it much faster than before, right? Well, kinda. In benchmarks, there's not much difference when compared to the Pixel 8, which isn't very common in the Android world, but then when you start opening and closing apps, the Pixel 9 shows its strength, since it's almost as fast as the Poco F6 or the Realme GT6 phones with much more powerful processors. But due to throttling after just 5 minutes, it's still a poor choice for gaming or very demanding tasks. Google always tries to improve everything they can with software, and the fact that this phone still comes with UFS 3.1, well, it's a clear example of that. They only upgrade their hardware when it's absolutely necessary or when it's creating some issues, like with the modem, for example, that was having some connectivity issues, and this year they're using the same modem as the Galaxy S24, and maybe this is the main reason why the battery life on this phone is great. I mean, it's amazing. But the last big improvement that they have done in the Pixel 9 is with the new ultra-wide-angle camera, which now integrates the same ones from the Pixel 8 Pro, meaning that the photos, look slightly better, as well as the macro photos, which are also taken with this camera. And I know you're probably waiting for me to talk about AI and all the other bullshit, but to be honest, I don't think it should be a key factor when you're considering to buy or not this phone. Gemini is integrated into the system and can now even interact with some apps, but we also have now Pixel Studio that allows us to create some images on the go, and Pixel Screenshots that reads and identifies the screenshots we do. We can also use AI to enhance a photo or make various changes, but none of this is revolutionary at the moment. The only feature that, it's really cool is the group photo one, which, it works quite well as long as you don't add animals into the mix. But besides that, meh. With that being said, well, you may not believe me, but I do really like the Pixel 9. Its new square-off design gives it a different vibe, and the rear camera design is the nicest I've seen on a phone. The screen is now a bit brighter, performance in day-to-day tasks is more than enough for most people, with a substantial battery improvement. But when you consider that the Pixel 8 can already be found for $499, it makes you wonder if it's worth paying so much more for so few improvements. And this, my friend, is where I think that Google is becoming more and more like Apple. But anyway, This is just my opinion, and remember, I do really like this phone. I just think that, for the price, we deserve a little bit better. Remember, if you have any questions, a different opinion, or anything, you can leave it in the comments and I will reply back. I see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao!